Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Boyd County Board of Education's regular board meeting. Today's date is December 22nd, and it's 6 p.m. The Boyd County Board of Education adopted a resolution March 24th, 2020, with regard to meetings held on and after the adoption of the resolution and subject to limited exceptions as described during the present state of emergency and under KRS 61.840. The board shall conduct its meetings in conformity with the procedures set forth in KRS 61.826 for video teleconferencing of meetings. Therefore, this meeting will be video teleconferencing and may be viewed by the public at our YouTube link provided or by going to our website, www.boyd.kyschools.us, and clicking on the link provided. I'll now do roll call. Tammy Pruitt. Here. Mindy Stanley. Here. Randy Stapleton.
Here.
And Lisa Wallen. I believe you're muted.
Here.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. Pursuant to KRS 160.170, KRS 62.010, and Kentucky Constitution Section 228, Mark Rosen, Senior Judge Retired, will swear in newly elected board member Lisa Wallen and re-elected board member Randall Stapleton. This will begin their 4-year term commencing January 1, 2021. He will administer the oaths of office, the constitutional oath, and the statutory oath for the board members. Welcome, Mr. Rosen.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, as always, and certainly a pleasure to work with the board and particularly to swear in new members. So if you are ready, Lisa and Randy, we will start off with the statutory oath, and I will read this to you, and when I'm finished, I will expect you to say I do. If each of you will raise your right hand. Do you, Lisa Wallen and Randy Stapleton Jr., being duly sworn, acknowledge that you are eligible under the law to serve as a member of the Boyd County Board of Education, and that you will not while serving as a member of such board, become interested, directly or indirectly, in any contract with or claim against the board, and that you will not in any way influence the hiring or appointment of district employees, except the hiring of the superintendent of schools or the school board attorney.
I do.
I do.
Very good. All right. Now for the constitutional oath of office, I will read this and have you repeat after me. I'll keep it short for you. All right. Say "I," then state your name, then repeat after me. I, Mark.
I, Lisa Wallen,
I, Randy Stapleton,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and be faithful and true
and be faithful and true
and be faithful and true
to the Commonwealth of Kentucky
to the Commonwealth of Kentucky,
to the Commonwealth of Kentucky,
so long as I continue
so long as I continue
so long as I continue
a citizen thereof,
a citizen thereof,
a citizen thereof,
and that I will faithfully execute
and I will faithfully execute
and that I will faithfully execute
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
the office of Boyd County Board of Education
the office of the Boyd County Board of Education
the office of Boyd County Board of Education
according to law.
according to law,
And I do further solemnly affirm
and I do solemnly affirm
and I do further solemnly affirm
that since the adoption of the present Constitution,
since the adoption of the present Constitution,
I, being a citizen of this state,
I, being a citizen of this state,
have not fought a duel with deadly weapons,
have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state nor out of it, within this state nor
out of it,
within this state nor out of it,
nor have I sent or accepted
nor have I sent or accepted
a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons,
a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons,
nor have I acted as second
nor have I acted as second
in carrying a challenge
in carrying a challenge,
nor aided or assisted
nor aided or assisted
any person thus offending
any person thus offending,
so help me God.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations to both of you as you embark upon your new terms as Board of Education members. I look forward to hopefully seeing you during the course of the year for some of your events. Mr. Boblett, you're doing good. And ladies and gentlemen, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Judge.
Judge.
All right, you're very welcome. And if there's no objection, I will take my leave. My wife has dinner on the table.
Go right ahead, Judge.
Have
All
a Merry
right.
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Okay. I will stop by the office tomorrow to sign the documents I need to sign.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. We'll call this meeting to order. Time being 6:09. We'll now have the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll now have the reading of the board goals. All students will be self-motivated I'm sorry, just a second. My husband's coming in. I'm afraid the dogs are going to bark. Okay. All students will be active, self-motivated, lifelong learners. All students will graduate and demonstrate the skills and the knowledge to support productive citizenship. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So move. Second.
Tammy, Wendy, all those in favor? I think we're going to have to say yes on these or no because I'm not seeing everyone's hands. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. 5 members voting yes. May have to do roll call or something again to ask you all because I can't, it's weird. I'm seeing icons and then every once in a while your picture will pop up. Okay. Student and staff presentation. Superintendent Bill Boblet, you have someone you'd like to recognize?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. I invited Mr. Aaron Bowling, choir teacher at Boyd County High School, to join us today. We're all very proud of Mr. Bowling and proud of his choir, the students that he does such wonderful work with. You hear him throughout the year. I'll tell you, Aaron, I truly missed the Christmas choir this year. Every year, I know you bring the students to the Y, and you and John both, and you do wonderful presentations with your students. But that hard work pays off in how your students perform and how they do in a community. And it's also neat to be recognized across the Commonwealth. And Aaron Bowling is not only the Kentucky Music Educators State High School, District 8 High School Teacher of the Year. He is also the KMEA State High School Teacher of the Year for 2021. So we're very proud of you, Aaron. Thank you so much for your hard work. We have a certificate for you that we will get to you just as soon as possible. But, we just want to say thank you for your hard work and your dedication to the students of Boyd County High School.
Thank you. And thank you to yourself, Mr. Boblet, and thank you to the board for always being supportive of our music department. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do. Thanks to the students and the administration of our school who work so hard to support the music in our schools. And again, thank you, and I appreciate this award. Thank you.
We're very blessed to have you.
We are blessed to have you.
I taught
Congratulations.
Aaron everything he knows about music. Isn't that right, Aaron?
Marcy was the first person to ever hire me when I started my career. So thank you, Marcy. She's quite responsible.
I had to say that. I couldn't sing worth anything, but he's awesome. He does a great job. I'm so proud of him.
Well, thank you for bringing him to our district.
Thank you.
All right. We do not have any requests to address the board, so we'll move on to our dialogue topics. First up, we have our draft budget plan for fiscal year 2021-2022 with Scott Burchett, our finance director.
Good evening. Well, first off, what we do, the board has been in the past, they've always looked at potential revenues for the next fiscal year. And so they do that in December. And then in January, we come back and we discuss an overall draft budget. And that's what is required for Kentucky schools, is that in January, you discuss a draft budget. And then in May, you approve a tentative budget. And then you come back in September and you adopt and approve a working budget. And we're under a working budget now for the fiscal year of 2021. So these revenues, if you look at, and there's a spreadsheet that's involved and also a Word document that's kind of like just a narrative a little bit. But in looking at the spreadsheet, it goes all the way back to 2016, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, and 2021. And then we look to see what are we looking at for possible fiscal year of 21, 22. This year is a little different than in prior years in that we usually we're funded for our basic revenue is under SEEK, and the SEEK is what we receive from the state. And we're usually funded on the average daily attendance from the prior school year. This year, due to the pandemic, we are actually under 2018-19 average daily attendance, because last year there was no way, there wasn't a way for schools to get a firm number on the 1920 attendance. And so then, because we're still under the pandemic rules this year of 2021, next year, fiscal year 21-22, it's also falling back to 18-19 ADA. So for that instance, then our basic SEEK numbers won't change a lot. I've left them the same. That's the 11,483,000 number towards the middle of the page. On the second to, there's two columns on the far right. It's the column that has the header is fiscal year 2022 project. It's projected. That basic SEEK amount is what's hopefully it will be around that amount. The only thing that will change that will be property assessments. When our property assessments will go up, that means the district has to put in a little more money locally. And so then that SEEK dollar would go down. That was the only reason why it should go down at this point right now for next school year. It's attendance, like I said, average daily attendance is the same as 2018-19. The other thing, going back to the top, the very first one is beginning balance. This whole thing, the whole budget, as far as revenues, hinges on basically three things. That's your beginning balance, your tax revenues, and your SEEK dollars that you get from the state. What I've done here, I've just did a projection on 3.7 million being our beginning balance for next school year, which would be our ending balance for this school year. This current year we're in, we started with $4.4 million. That would be a decrease of $722,000. Do I feel that's going to be the case? Not really, but that's all in there for the basis of what happens when they come back to school during the pandemic and we have a lot of staffing that we've had to fund. One of the things was that we were supposed to be getting a big reimbursement of our dollars through FEMA. That did not pan out like anybody told us. So there's three pots of money that we're going to be choosing from. That's our general fund. There's a ESSER funds, which is CARES money. It's a CARES Act money from the federal government, and then also a GEAR money. The ESSER money and the GEAR money totals for us in between about $750,000 to $800,000 or so. So we're going to spend all of that. That'll be gone here by the end of the school year for sure. It's whether we would have to dip then into the general fund, and we're hoping we don't have to do that, but we'll see. Some of the things that will save the general fund a little bit is during this time, we're not spending a lot of money on diesel fuel, even though we're still going out and running routes and dropping off food and doing some things like some, very important things like that. But we're not running those daily bus routes every single day, all the buses. Then also, we're not having to pay for a lot of substitute personnel right now. That's part of it too. Come in the spring semester, we will probably be picking that back up and be having, about a half a year worth of the full expenditure. So we're looking good on that. Property revenue, what I've done as far as the second line item there, where it has 6.9 million and it's an increase of $200,000, that is based on if the board would adopt the 4% increase in revenue tax rate for next school year. The current year that we're in, we chose the compensating rate. We've been doing, I think, every other year is kind of what the board has done in the past. So this past year, or the current year that we're in now, we did the compensating rate. And that's basically it gives you the amount of revenue that you had the previous year. So we're working on that right now. But for next school year, being the next year following around, it would be very beneficial if the board would choose that 4% rate next year. Then to get back, going down through here, one of the things, interest income is going to drop drastically. And I can tell you the reason why is that 2 years ago, whenever we signed a bonded depository and we picked our bank, interest rates were very high and very nice. We're getting about 2.25%. A local district just put out an email to the other little local school districts, and where we're getting 2.25, they're all getting about half of a percent or less on their money. So you can imagine how much of a benefit it is to us to still have that contract right now. So next school year, when we do our budget or when we do our bonded depository, that percentage is going to drop drastically. It's not going to be 2.25% unless the Fed would come back and raise the rates. And right now they're near zero. So I would doubt very seriously if we would ever get that 2.25% right now, at least for a while. So that is another spot there. And then again, the SEEK dollars. The one thing that could change there would be the state legislature will be meeting starting in January, and they'll be going through their cycle on the budget. Now, if this is a very hot topic, I'm sure down there right now, is the fact that what's the budget going to look like at the state level? The state level, they have no idea right now because they're still counting on tax dollars coming in. You have the pandemic where they've had CARES money coming in. They're squeezing every penny they can from every area to try to make sure that they're not going to reduce school districts, at least not at a drastic amount. So my hope right now is that they stay status quo with what our basic dollars are and follow through with all the add-ons, if not add on just a little bit, hopefully. But I don't look for the state budget to be very beneficial for next year. So that being said, our ending balance this year is crucial. We're running around 9% or so contingencies, what we've run in the past, and that's what we hope to stay around. The state requires a 2% contingency by law, and they'd like for you to have at least 5 to 7. That's for the just in cases. And for instance, this pandemic, COVID-19, is just for instance, what may happen. And you may have to spend a lot of money at your general fund when you're not expecting to. This is one of those instances. So we're hoping to spend the federal money as much as we can first and save our general fund this year as much as we can, because next school year could be even a very lean year from the state and from the federal government, depending on what they do for schools. So other than that, that is the just that I have. The other funds that we have out there, that's the general fund. We have a capital outlay fund, and that is we get $100 per student ADA. So that number is going to be the same. All that will go to pay debt, our bond payments for our schools that we've built, and then the SEEK building fund or FSPK building fund. That's based on we match those dollars from our tax revenue. We match a portion from ours. For instance, we contribute $1.69 million this year. Out of our tax dollars will go towards the building fund, and the state then matches that with $777,000, some change. So hopefully that'll be around the same, if not a little more from the state. And then for the majority of that, if not all, then will go to pay debt as well. The other funds that we have that are we have Fund 2, which is where our grants and projects are, like Title I. Then you have your IDEA for special education. You also have been a lot of state grants that have been coming in, like ESS, Safe Schools, the Family Resource, and those sort of things. That's where we rely on the state budget as well. So then we have food service, which basically funds itself. Our food service program is very healthy, balanced right now, but going through all this pandemic and going through a lot of work that will eat into it some. But they've been carrying at least a 3-month balance, which is what the state says you cannot have over that 3-month running balance. So we kind of stay within that. So other than that, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Anyone have any questions?
Mr. Bob and I will be having some meetings, whether it be virtual or in person or out on the campfire or something. We'll be meeting and talking about the budget very much here in the near future, because it's going to get interesting. And but again, in January we'll discuss the whole overall draft budget plan for next year, and hopefully by then we'll know a little bit about what the state's looking towards. But no promises on that. So.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Scott, thank you.
You're welcome.
Scott, thank you very much. And as Scott said, we really ramp up these talks into January. And of course, depending on what type of legislative year it is, and this is the biennium time. So this is whenever the budget for the next 2 years gets hammered out pretty hard. And you're already starting to see some bills that are being pre-filed. Some that with school vouchers and so forth. So whatever your feelings on that may be, but we will continue to assess. And in a regular year, it's a lot of work to try and see where we spend our money. But in this type of year, it's going to be even more difficult. But we'll work through it. And then as we get in through probably late winter, early spring, we'll sit down with a board and iron out maybe some smaller type projects that we look at that I always like to do with you all to kind of let you know where we can spend some money to meet the needs of our kids.
Sounds good. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Okay, next up in our dialogue topics is with Marcy Prater, our DPP, the proposed 2021-2022 school calendar. Calendars A, B, and C are proposed calendars presented by the School Board Calendar Committee and Marcy Prater, DPP. The board will select one calendar for approval in action item 11.3 of the agenda. The School Calendar Committee has recommended calendar B. Marcy, would you like to go over that with us?
Sure. Calendar B is our, we're cashing in on the boat dock bill, as Mr. Bobbitt likes to say. This is starting the Wednesday after the closest Monday to the 26th of August. With this, we are not tied to days, we are tied to hours. So that's 1,062 hours. And we are tied to 175 contract days for teachers. So with calendar B, our starting date, planning days, we've taken those 2 planning days that we normally have, and we've put those at the beginning. Those are professional days. I said planning, those are professional days on August the 23rd and 24th. And then the kids, or teachers' opening day would be Wednesday the 25th, and kids' opening day is Thursday the 26th. So in person, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the school buildings on Thursday the 26th for kids the first day. And then we go for 1 full week. Then we are out for Labor Day on September the 6th. We have a fall break in there scheduled with our third PD day of the year on October the 1st. And then a long weekend, taking that 4th day as just a break. And then we can go on through the month of October and into November with our week-long Thanksgiving break. 4th and final PD day would be the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Our second holiday is Thanksgiving. And then we can end up the second part of the semester there with on the 17th of December. And we're off until January the 3rd. We are out the 17th for Martin Luther King Day. And then we worked in a winter break on the 18th and 21st of February. In school the whole week of March. And then we discussed in calendar committee that spring break week. And we all seemed to like that full week of April because if I remember correctly, Easter is not until in 2022, either the 17th or 24th. It's late in April of that year. So we took the first full week of April. And then the last day for students would be the 19th and closing day for staff would be the 20th. Again, that's 175 days. It's 165 instructional days with 1,062 hours. And 4 professional, 4 holiday, 1 opening, and 1 closing day. And that's what we got. Questions?
Marcy,
Yes, sir.
if you wouldn't mind, maybe explain to the board, especially Ms. Wallen being new, how the calendar committee kind of meets and what you all kind of discuss and so forth. Just kind of give her a snapshot, if you wouldn't mind, of
Absolutely.
what takes place with that and the way we work our calendar. Some districts do it this way, some do not.
And ours is totally different than the district from which she comes from because I know her DPP very well. She's my sidekick. We do an election, Lisa, and we do like the elementary teachers, middle and high school are all voted on. It is a Google form that the teachers select, and we get a representative from each building, and then we submit that, and then they have to hold an election. Each person, and then we have 2 representatives from the community. We have ACTC represented by Brooke Caesar, and then we have Eric Cheney, our county judge executive, as our other representative. Then we have Mike Barnett as a parent, and Anna Perkins Higginbotham. I always do that too. As our other parent. We also have Teresa Spears. We've got several. We try and get as many voices as we can on there to meet. We meet and we have 3 rough drafts of these calendars, and then all of those representatives take those calendars back to their constituents, people, staff, whatever. They get some feedback, then they present back to me, and if we feel like we need to meet again, we will meet again. We met virtually this time, and actually I had a conversation earlier today with the court because we were talking about how attendance seemed to be better when we could meet virtually because it's easy for them to grab their computer and log on. So, but everybody was there. We talked at great length about the kids being in school, being in person, but we wanted to make sure safety was at the forefront. Miss Day has been our representative for the last 3 or 4 years, and I feel like everybody has a voice in this and expresses concerns and things that they like and things they don't like, and we just kind of hammer it out and then present these to the board for discussion and selection of which calendar we're going to choose.
I miss those days of calendars being done that way. I love that we still do it that way. And as I started looking at these today, I looked at calendar A and I was like, oh, that's too early. I didn't realize which one you were recommending. And I was like, calendar B, oh, yes, I like that. And especially with the pandemic and having that later starting date, I just was so excited to see that because
I will tell you, I was shocked, and Miss Day can tell you as well. I really thought the parents would be more on the lines of calendar C. The school personnel, we were all like, let's do that calendar B. Every one of those parents were like, we want calendar C. Calendar B, because we feel like these kids with the pandemic and just to be kids and be able to enjoy summer a little bit.
Right. There were no pools open. There was nothing for them. Families were so died down for the most part. So I was really excited with this calendar. Thank you so much for your and the committee's hard work, and Linda too.
Well,
that was exciting.
We have a great committee, and they just are very willing to work. And Mike Barnett is one of my favorite people ever because he just tells me what he thinks. And if he doesn't agree with us, he's like, now listen, I'm just going to tell you. But he's very willing to hear the devil's advocate part of it. So I'm very thankful for our calendar committee.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions?
I have one more thing. Mr. Stapleton, how is your dad? I have not heard an update and was wanting to check on him.
He is fine.
Okay, good. Good. He's too rotten to get too sick on us, but
Yeah, he is.
well, you tell him I asked about him and I've been thinking about him, and I've been checking your mom's Facebook for an update, and she hasn't updated, so I've missed it if so. But
Okay, well, thank you.
all right, I'm going to jump off and go on to the link, Mr. Boblet. That way, I don't tie up the line. If anybody has any questions, you can ask it, and I'll shoot a text or whatever. But I think
Marcy, I just want to say thank you for putting together such a great calendar committee. I agree. Everyone seems to be, more concerned about what the best interest of the students, and we do have a solid committee, and I enjoy being a part of it.
I love that they think about kids first, and that's their intention. They're not worried about adults. They're not worried about families. They're worried about kids, and that's what we all want. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you guys for doing all of this and for serving for our community. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I hope we are back to normal pretty soon. I'm over this.
Let's hope. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to our next dialogue topic, our professional learning mini grant, Social Studies 2019-2020 with Sherry Bonzo.
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity to share in this professional learning experience. I really wanted to spend a little bit of time, not much, but just to highlight a few items. First of all, the grant that we received rolled out from KDE, and it was a state grant. And it was presented to our principals, and 12 teacher leaders were identified in each building to lead the professional learning in their buildings. We were so excited. It was actually, the grant timeline was from January to October, which means that these teachers led this grant during the pandemic. So I'm just super proud of everyone that was involved. I'm so thankful for Mr. Boblet and his discernment in what grants really fit our district and work well. Our district leadership team, everyone just pulled together and we made this happen. Of course, the end game is always for our students and to improve learning in the classroom. I would like to recognize the teachers that led in their buildings. It was K through 12, and our elementary teachers were Mary Beth Vance, Nikki Witt, Joey Ellis, Tracy Sayers, Susie Payne, Carrie Crow, Beverly Butcher, Nikki Provost, Susan Biggs, and Kim Wilbur. Representing the middle school was Marilyn Serrano and Dustin Adams. And then the high school was Brian Scott, Brad Hart, Kelly Martin, Heather Thomas, and Justin Burton. And they did a fabulous job. Many of them received certificates of completion. It was a deep dive into the social studies standards that have recently been reviewed and revised. And especially, we have a PowerPoint for you. If you would take a moment to look at the student spaces. This is why we do everything that we do. We want to impact our students in instruction in the classroom. Something that was wonderful about this grant opportunity was that it unified our elementary schools. All of our elementary schools were able to participate in either a pilot program with a resource called Simple Solutions, or they actually received funding. And it was just across the board, teachers leading in their building, sharing resources, and of course our awesome students receiving new strategies and new resources. We had Kagan structures implemented throughout the grant. I especially want to thank Ms. Markham and her leadership for everything that she has done to help support this endeavor. And we just have a really great team at Boyd County, and just so thankful, so very thankful. And then lastly, just in memory of Dr. Judy Nichols, who was a social studies teacher. And we just want to remember her, and we're just so thankful that we had this great opportunity. And we look forward to more opportunities in the future.
Awesome. All right. Anyone have any questions? Thank you so much, Sherry.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Very
You too.
Thank you, Sherry. Wonderful presentation.
Okay, we will move on to our reports and communications. Does anyone have any questions, comments, anything to discuss on that?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if I may, before you move forward, if I can have a minute or two, I'd like to kind of inform our public and the board a little bit about what will hopefully take place in January in our school district with regards returning to in-person instruction.
Yes, go ahead. We'd love to hear it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm struggling a little bit with the camera and so forth, so I apologize. But, let me find this document here. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, please allow me to begin by thanking the tireless employees of Boyd County Public Schools. We have teachers and support staff working countless hours every day, including many who are working non-traditional hours, doing their best to deliver high quality and creative instruction to our students. We have bus drivers and food service personnel who prepare and deliver over 2,000 meals per day. Our custodial and maintenance staff work day and night to keep our facilities clean, sanitized, maintained, and safe each day. And I cannot say enough about our district office staff. As you see, we had 2 presentations today. They have met the challenge of a pandemic and continue to find creative ways to assist our teachers and employees every day. Finally, you all as members of the board, your leadership throughout these difficult times has been remarkable. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of Boyd County Public Schools. While there will be no magic wand waved over our county in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, I wanted to let this board know that we are working diligently in preparing a plan for possible return to in-person instruction. On Friday, December the 18th, I informed our community that our district plans to return to NTI instruction and continue our virtual academy option on January 4th, 2021, per the governor's recommendation. We are currently formulating plans to return to some form of in-person instruction on Monday, January 11th, 2021. The governor's executive orders have been issued and are similar to what was expected. Schools are will now be allowed to return to in-person instruction if your county is in the red on the incidence map. However, more stringent protocols must be followed. These protocols include meeting best health practices for social distancing, mask use, and sanitation for the Healthy at School guidance. Also, districts will need to implement a more aggressive hybrid model to further reduce volume of students and educators in school facilities. We are continuing to work on these areas and feel that meeting these standards are within reach. Once a complete plan has been developed in consultation with the Boyd County Health Department, district administrators, school administrators, and school staff, I hope to release a specific plan before the week of January 4th. However, if time does not allow for this to take place, the plan will be released sometime during the week of January 4th. Our intent will always be to keep our kids and our staff healthy and safe. We believe in-person instruction is the best avenue to educate our children, and our children need in-person instruction. However, since March, the pandemic has dictated the method of instruction. Staffing remains a key barrier to the return to in-person instruction. The number of staff who might be out due to a positive test or quarantine plays a big factor, along with the shallow size of our substitute teaching pool. We have, however, hired additional substitute teachers and hired 5 full-time substitute teachers to assist with these issues. In the past, if a sub could not be placed in the classroom, oftentimes we would combine classes. However, Due to social distancing guidelines, we can no longer combine classes if a staff member is absent. There also must be enough bus drivers and other support staff to get our kids back in school. I'd like to inform our parents, based upon the Healthy at School guidelines, and if Boyd County continues to be designated as orange or red in the incidence map, I foresee some form of A or AB hybrid schedule with Wednesday as an NTI day for cleaning and planning purposes being implemented preschool through 12th grade. This type of schedule will be similar to what we attempted back in September at Boyd County Middle School and Boyd County High School. Returning to in-person learning can be achieved by keeping our COVID numbers down. The holidays are a very important time of year for so many. Let's all do our part by following as many safety guidelines as possible while enjoying time with our families. This includes frequently washing your hands, masking, and avoid touching your face. To our parents and guardians and students, thank you for your efforts during the past months. We appreciate your care, concern, and passion. Together, you make Boyd County Schools a great place to learn and are a constant reminder of what it is to be the example. I appreciate the support of this board, our employees, and our community while we continue to educate our children during this most difficult time. Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate the time. And again, as I said, we're working on plans right now. Again, safety of our students and staff will be paramount. And hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll have something a little more concrete. But again, I want to share these plans with our health department and other administrators and teachers throughout the district, and to develop some more input.
Thank you, Mr. Boblet. I appreciate you sharing that, and I just want to let you know how much we appreciate you and how much we appreciate all of the staff at Boyd County High School, or not high school, but Boyd County Public Schools. I know it's just been tough for everyone, and I think everybody's gone well above and beyond. So thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add? Okay, we will move on to our action items. 11.1, consider superintendent's recommendation to approve request from Boyd County High School Site-Based Decision-Making Council and Principal Holbrook to adopt policy change draft curriculum and instruction. Graduation requirement 08.113 as presented by Kentucky School Boards Association, KSBA. This will be the second reading. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Tammy, second.
A second.
Mindy, and all those in favor, let me see if I can see everyone this time. Thank you, Mindy. Lisa, what's your vote?
You can't see me? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Randy?
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor, 5 members voting yes. 11.2, consider superintendent's recommendation to approve amendment to recorded minutes of November 17th, 2020, action item number 12.17, to read, consider superintendent's recommendation to approve the direct purchase order change order number DPO 14 rather than DPO 27 as stated in the original action item. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Tammy?
Second.
Mindy, all those in favor?
Can you see me? Okay.
So I got Tammy, Lisa, Randy. What's your vote, babe? Yes. Mindy? Okay, Randy, is your vote yes?
Yes.
Okay, so it's 5 members voting yes. Sorry, this is difficult. All right, 11.3, consider superintendent's recommendation to approve request from Dara Sue Williams, Special Education Director, to return to self-billing for Medicaid for the 2020-2021 school year based on the information attached. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second. Mindy? Why are we doing this, Bill?
Basically, it's a change from KSBA. We originally had a contract with them, and then they changed their carrier. And so it's something that we don't feel it's works best for us right now. We're going to research new carriers as we move forward into the spring and the summer.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, all those in favor? Okay, I got Mindy and Randy.
Can you see me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay, yes. I understand. Okay.
Tammy, what about you?
Yes, for me.
Okay, that's 5 members voting yes. All right, 13.4, consider superintendent's what did I say that right? I'm sorry, it was 11.4. Consider superintendent's recommendation to approve bids for supplies, services, and equipment for the remainder of the 2020-2021 school year, beginning January 1, 2021, and running through June 30th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Tammy? Mindy? All those in favor? I'll just do roll call. Tammy?
Yes.
Mindy?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
And Lisa?
Yes.
Okay, that's 5 members voting yes. 11.5, consider superintendent's recommendation to approve the local agreement for cooperation on full utilization between the Boyd County Board of Education, acting as Head Start grantee, and the Boyd County Head Start program for school year 2020-2021. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Tammy?
Second.
Mindy? All those in favor? Tammy?
Yes.
Mindy?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
And Lisa?
Yes.
5 members voting yes. 11.6, consider superintendent's recommendation to approve the request for Matt Spade, District Federal Programs Director, to approve the procedure for federal funds expenditures to be approved by the District Federal Programs Director prior to purchasing. Do I have a motion?
So move. Second.
And Mindy and Tammy, what's your vote?
Yes.
Mindy,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
and Lisa.
Yes.
Okay, all 5 members voting yes. 11.7, approve buildings and grounds utilization request from Joey Carroll, Christ Covenant Church, 2822 Cumberland Avenue, Ashland, Kentucky, to use the annex, old ECLC North Building, for Sunday services December 20th, 2020 through January 21, 2021. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Tammy?
Second.
Mindy? Okay, all those in favor of Tammy?
Yes.
Mindy?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
And Lisa?
Yes.
5 members voting yes. 11.8, approve superintendent's recommendation to approve the Comprehensive District Improvement Plan, CDIP, as presented. Do I have a motion?
So move. Second.
Tammy, and do I have a second?
Second.
Mindy? Okay, vote. Tammy?
Yes.
Mindy?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
And Lisa?
Yes.
5 members voting yes. Okay, we will move on to our consent items. Have a motion to present them as presented, or approve them as presented.
So move.
Tammy?
Second.
Mindy? All those in favor? Tammy? Yes?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I answered for you. Mindy?
Yes.
Randy?
Yes.
And Lisa?
Yes.
5 members voting yes. Okay. We need to acknowledge our personnel action for December 2020. Does anyone have any questions or discussion on that? Okay. Focus of our business topics for our next meeting, organize district finance corporation with the board meetings, dates and organization, board officers election for chairman and vice chairman, board secretary, treasurer, and board board attorney appointments, draft budget plan with Scott Burchett, and the superintendent preliminary formative evaluation in closed session with the board. Wow, is it that time again already?
Hard to believe. When I read this today, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Lies.
Is there anything else that we need to add?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
For the board meeting dates and organization, or the board meeting dates and times and so forth, are you all okay with what we have been doing the fourth Tuesday of the month with a few exceptions and at 6 o'clock? Is that still a good time and dates for you all?
Yes.
Yep.
It is for me.
Perfect.
Mindy's at work.
Good for you, Lisa?
Yes, it's fine. Can you not see me either?
I can now. At first, I couldn't. I don't know what the deal is.
I don't either. So we're
I
gonna.
see Merry Christmas on the back of your papers there.
Yeah, okay.
So we're
Thank
gonna
you.
vote on that next time, Bill, or did we need to?
Yes, that'll be next month. We'll
Oh, okay. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Anything else? All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Tammy, Mindy, all those in favor?
Yes.
Mindy,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
and Lisa.
Yes.
5 members voting yes. The time being 6:55. Meeting is adjourned. Thank
I
you.
love our meetings. That's great.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, folks. You all are
Merry
awesome.
Christmas, everyone.
Thank you.
Merry
You all have a
Christmas.
great holiday.
You
If there's
too.
anything I can do for you, let me know, and I'll